Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back for some more Path of Exile, where I'm continuing to work on my army with my necromancer. And of course we are going to pick back up right where we left off, which was in Act 3. We basically just started that one, and of course at first thing we want to do is progress through Act 3 and try to get a couple of extra levels as well. So far we're basically staying around 3 levels ahead of the maps, just from the investment of doing all of the rituals that we found on our way in Act 1, really focusing on those a little bit right at the start. So we've been quite comfortable, and if you don't really know Act 3, it's actually pretty straightforward. I think if you do it like once or twice, maybe 2 or 3 times, you will start to learn the pattern of finding Diala at first, going through that, not really sure what all of the maps are called there, but that temple looking map with all the gold and all of the ribbons that attack you, and then just go to the docks, try and do everything there in one go, right? Find the waypoint, talk to the captain, Fairgraves I believe he's called, and then keep tracking the site until you find like a drop there that gets you the next quest, so that you can unlock that weird blockage that is in the sewers. Then after that, a couple more bosses to do there. There's like a general. Be a little bit careful on that one, to be honest. He does have a nasty AoE, but my army was able to take him down pretty quickly. Yeah, if you're not ready for that, and you don't have a movement skill at the ready, you know, that firestorm that he does can catch you off guard, and then it's straight on to Piety. A little bit, there's one annoying mob there, not really in and of itself, the mob itself is not so annoying, but it's like these ladies that keep firing spikes in a very rapid fire way, and it's not the mob itself that's annoying, but there's always like half a dozen to a dozen of them, and that becomes like a vast cone of damage that you need to get out of. Now luckily we are using minions, we've got an army that we can sacrifice for that, so you can basically just place a couple of skeletons in front of them. They'll take the brunt of the damage, and at this point my skeletons also explode when they reach like 30% HP or something like that, and so they're basically my little suicide bombers that I sent on suicide missions against the more annoying mobs. They blow up and you can just keep walking through everything. Super satisfying. The Piety fight really easy, honestly. Just drop all your minions, and she's a little bit stuck because of your entire army keeping her in check there. She tries to run away a little bit, but it's really not a big deal. What I do after that, I just keep going right until the Scepter of God. So I do go to like the library, find the golden pages, find also the plum. That's always a little bit of looking, I have to be honest, that's a little bit annoying. But you basically want to finish all these quests in Act 3, and by that time, for me, it was perfect timing. I actually reached level 35, I believe, or 34 and almost 35, so I could use my golems, which you can't do if you're running this for the first time, because the golems are only unlocked later down in Act 4, but as I've said, a couple of preparations that I did make for this character included buying all of the gems, so I was able to get the first golem up and running. Then I needed 3 more skill points so that I could get a second one, increase the buff, and for me I chose Carrion Golem and then the Chaos Golem. Chaos Golem, good defensive, right? You take less physical damage. Carrion Golem helps all of my other minions, gives them a lot of extra damage. Really cool stuff. He's an AoE guy as well, so I really like my Carrion Golem. Would have loved to use the stone one, just don't have the strength for that yet. I've really not focused on gear at all. I just pushed through as quickly as I could, and I still feel very comfortable, but then here the Dominus fight, well, it can catch you off guard, so you want to be a little bit careful, and for me part of being careful is actually taking a risk. I run the laboratory at that point, so I go in there. You have to find the boss 3 times in the aspirants trial, which is what I did, and my tactic, I mean, it is a labyrinth, I just stick to the right side and keep following that. Now in the later labyrinths it's a little bit annoying. Here it's pretty smooth, and I find the boss without too much trouble. Still haven't died, by the way, 4 hours in, 0 deaths, which is pretty good. And that first Ascension, of course, you pick Necromancer. And for me, I went with the defensive one. I kind of want to try and stay deathless for this character as long as possible. And so I went with the Aura one, which gives us, I think it's like 30% extra elemental resistances, which is huge, actually. It basically means that you're capped with just the most minimal of gear with resistance on it. And then anything that's from your army that's within your radius, that's within an aura of you, gets 30% increased damage. And then I also run the aura that gets extra resistance. And so basically I'm super easily resistance capped by choosing that one first. After that, we will of course go for the other stuff, which improves the quality of the gems, and then also gives us something that takes away, gives us extra HP and takes away bleeding. Super powerful, actually. The utility on the Necromancer, guys, is off the charts. So once we become a Necromancer, we just go in, blast through Dominus. I mean, my army just beats the crap out of him. It's really not pretty, but you feel that how easy it basically is, that your minions do all the work and that you can focus on dodging the problem, staying out of trouble. And sometimes you can even just drop your whole army, drop all of your skeletons and your totem that summons your little skulls there, that starts to burn everything, and then I just run away, let them do stuff off screen, and then I go and check, is everything gone? Yep, everyone's dead. Grab the loot and move on, which brought us to Act 4, which we've also actually done pretty quickly. I think you can do that decently quickly. I kind of like that dry lake for a little bit of grinding, if that's what you want to do. Now, this character didn't do that, just ran through, grabbed the boss there, and went through the whole mountain thing. After that, there's like two types of, I'm not sure what to call them, two drops that you have to find from two bosses. I would say the left side with all the fire stuff, for me, has always been a little bit more annoying than the other side against the Reso and in the Ring of Blades. Basically, that fire damage can be annoying. I think you want to be capped with your resistances, especially fire damage. If it lasts too long, that fight, basically you can get into trouble. Now again, with my army, it went decently quickly without too much danger, but I would say there you have some stuff that you need to become aware of, and that only experience is going to teach. There's also a couple of those mobs that have some of those AoE abilities, and you're stuck a little bit. It's annoying. The left side is by far the more annoying one. Then on the other side, the left side is more annoying. The right side that you have to choose towards the Ring of Blades, to me, has always felt very nice. Actually, really condensed big packs of mobs that don't do too much. A couple of extra unique ones, including 3 of them in an arena. You know, again, the army overwhelms them in next to no time. It's super cool to see how nicely they are doing. And then Dariso himself, for a minion build, again, really not a big problem, because up close and personal, he's kind of dangerous. He's got those that repeated attack that can really bring you down, and then he puts down these AoE little blades and stuff that can basically catch you off guard and get you into trouble. But if you can focus on staying out of trouble and away from him, which you can with the minions, it is really not much of a problem. Finishing up Act 4 means going up against Malachi, I believe he's called. There's one thing before that. You've got Piety, who is like in a monster form, and she does a big blast right around her that keeps going in a circle for a couple of times. Very annoying, definitely deadly. You need to be ready for that, and my army was not ready for that. She got rid of everything. All my zombies gone. I actually had already also built up my what's he called, Animate Guardian. So I actually put some unique items on that one. Also wiped off the face of the planet. Now I know which items I want late game. I'm going to buy them. I've just completely forgotten that she's so deadly for your minions. So that was basically a bit of a reset there. Spectres gone as well. I had a couple of cool spectres from the mountain, which I really like, and that's something as well. At this point, I start to experiment with my spectres. So from the mountain, you've got these guys that throw like lantern bearers or something like that, I think they're called. They throw an AoE. I always found that mob to be very annoying when I had to stay still for a little bit to cast my spells, for instance, because that AoE does a lot of damage. I love those guys as specters. Very, very fun to play with them. But okay, I ended up going for a couple of these bugs that also have an annoying spitting attack that's like a little bit of a mini Gatling gun that's fired off. Very cool stuff as well. Pretty big mob, so I think it's got decent HP, managed to survive everything. And then eventually, of course, you come up against Malachi himself, where it's the same story. You'll need to learn the fight a little bit, at least I did. Pretty deadly at first, but once you understand some of the mechanics and you see all these telegraphs, it really didn't become that much of a problem. Just, you know, stay at his back is mostly the message there, and he went down without too much trouble as well. And after that, I actually in these 2 hours still made my way through a little bit of Act 5 as well, and I'm basically right in front of the fight that I would say I fear the most, maybe very close to it. It is the Innocence fight. So he has a couple of very, very deadly abilities, and they're like massive AoE all over the place. Now, I think my army can absorb quite a little bit of that, but this does mean that I basically used the last 10 minutes to do a bit more extra preparation. So I grinded an extra level so that I could get the biggest life node that's available on the big life wheel there. So I made my way up to there, and then I also went back to my base, did a couple of enchants, just get some more raw HP, and make sure that my resistance is kept before I jump into that fight. And that's basically what I've done there in Act 5 so far. Made my way pretty smoothly to just before the Innocence fight, but then I do tend to like, you know, make sure that I feel ready to tackle that one, because it is a fight that's a little bit more dangerous. And yeah, that's hours 3 and 4 for this character in Path of Exile. I believe I'm level 47, definitely having fun pushing through all of that, and I love building up the army, experimenting with the specters, and just watching it all unfold as I guide my army. Destroy that, and they're doing really, really great. Loving my skeletons as well, by the way. My little suicide bombers that throw themselves at the enemy, burn everything around them, and then at 30% HP just blop. They are taking quite a few rares with them and things like that. So having a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed these types of videos as well. And that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.